Welcome back, everybody. The long-awaited search for answers about what really happened on January 6th at Capitol Hill, it begins next week. As House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's Select Committee investigating the insurrection is set to hold their first hearing with officers from the Capitol and D.C. Metro Police on Tuesday. The members of Congress that will, in fact, be a part of the probe, however, has been a point of contention between Pelosi and Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy after Pelosi rejected 2 of the 5 Republicans McCarthy picked to be a part of the investigation, leading McCarthy to pull all of his selections. The 2 Republicans in question were Congressman Jim Jordan and Jim Banks, who supported objections to the election results during the formalization of Biden's victory on January 6th. Congresswoman Liz Cheney is currently the sole Republican on the Select Committee, along with 7 other Democrats. But according to new reporting, Pelosi is mulling whether to add more anti-Trump Republicans to the committee. One of the names being thrown around is Congressman Adam Kinzinger. Joining me now, Democratic Congressman Raja Krishnamoorthi of Illinois. He is also a member of the House Intelligence Committee. Congressman, thanks for joining us on a Saturday. Always appreciate it. I want to get your thoughts first on this back and forth between Pelosi and McCarthy and House Speaker Pelosi's decision to reject 2 of McCarthy's 5 picks for the January 6th committee.
Well, McCarthy from the start, along with McConnell, basically destroyed the chance of a bipartisan independent commission taking this whole inquiry out of Congress, which would have been the ideal. And so now we're left with a special select committee, since doing nothing is not an option. And here again, McCarthy put forward choices knowing exactly what would happen, knowing that Jim Jordan is not the appropriate choice to make an objective inquiry into the truth of what occurred on January 6th. And as you know, Yasmin, the vast majority of the American people want to know the truth.
Let me play devil's advocate here for a moment. And it's a conversation that I've been having with my executive producer leading up to this interview with you. And it's the optics of Pelosi's decision to reject Banks and Jordan. And whether or not that was a smart choice in that, is she saying, in a sense, I want my own people or people that are anti-Trump, right? Adam Kinzinger, someone who has been vocally anti-Trump. We know, obviously, where Cheney stands on this as well, and the Trump camp. Is the optics of this, did Pelosi think of the optics of her decision?
Well, remember, she said that she would be willing to accept the other 3 choices that Mr. McCarthy made, namely Mr. Nels, Congressman Rodney Davis, as well as Congressman Armstrong. And none of them are anti-Trump. In fact, I believe that Mr. Nels voted not to certify some of the election results on January 6th. And so I think what she wants is, in my humble opinion, she wants people who are after the truth. And anybody who's been around
right.
Jim Jordan for 10 minutes on any committee, and I've served with him on various committees at this point, knows that he's just going to get up there and create a circus at this point, and the stakes are too high for that, Yasmin.
What do you think about Congressman Kinzinger being a possible candidate to add?
I think he'd be a fine addition because I think that he satisfies that number 1 criteria, which is someone who is approaching this objectively and searching for the truth. We need to know, how did this come about? We need to know why the federal government under Donald Trump was so slow in responding on the day in question on January 6th. And then we need to know, how do we prevent this from happening again? I don't think it's a stretch to say that the American people were traumatized on January 6th. And we need to get answers right now to the very important questions.
Are you worried Americans won't trust the results of the committee?
I'm always concerned about kind of the partisan lens through which a lot of people are going to see this committee. But at the end of the day, I do think that the vast majority of the American people really do want some answers to some important questions. And I'm very hopeful that this special select committee is going to present those answers in a way that's accessible and, of course, meaningful for the American people.
Democratic Congressman Raja Krishnamoorthi of Illinois, thank you so much. Appreciate it. To talk more about the January 6th